If you're under the impression that carbs are bad and they're the reason that you can't lose weight, I'm going to explain why you're wrong, so stay tuned. How are we? I'm Will Russ, in-person personal trainer and online fitness coach, and I'm here to simplify the complicated fitness industry for everyday people like you and me. Today I'm going to be going through why you should not be scared of carbohydrates and how they'll actually improve your progress. But before we begin, if you genuinely want to lose that extra bit of body fat that you've wanted to get gone for the last however many years, then you need to be signed up to my free 7-day fat loss crash course. It's an email a day for 7 days straight that's going to help you sustain your fat loss for one, but also accelerate it so that you're not waiting forever to finally get rid of those few extra pounds. All you have to do is use the link in my description and get signed up. So let's start with probably one of the bigger gym myths that's out there in the health and fitness industry and real life, because I hear people say it just walking down the street, is that carbs make you gain weight or prevent you from losing weight. The reason that this occurs is usually because someone will have a carb heavy meal and then they'll see that their weight has then spiked up the next day or two, and they're thinking, well, it must be because carbs make you fat. This is not the case, okay? Carbs may make you gain weight temporarily, but the weight that it's made you gain is only water weight, and after 2, 3, 4, 5 days, that will be flushed out of your system. The reason that this happens is because 1 gram of carbohydrates in the body can actually cause the body to hold an extra 1 to 4 grams of water. So if you go on the high end and say that one day you have 400 grams of carbs throughout the day, then you're looking at potentially an extra 1,600 grams, so 1.6 kilos, what's that, 3.5 pounds, something like that, of water weight as well, okay? Sometimes they might be slower digesting as well, so that might mean that by the time you weigh yourself the next morning, that the carbs are still in your system because you might have had like potatoes or brown rice or something like that that's a little bit slower digesting, so it's not actually passed through your system yet, which might mean that number's gone from 3.5 pounds up to 4.5 pounds, and you're sat there thinking, what on earth has gone on here? When actually, if you give it another 2 or 3 days, all of that will be flushed out your system and you'll be back to where you were. So to conclude, carbs do not make you gain body fat. They can sometimes fluctuate your water weight and your waste in the body, but that isn't body fat. That's going to sort itself out over the next few days, so it's not to be worried about. Now I'm going to speak about how carbs can actually help and improve your progress. So carbohydrates, they're the body's primary energy source, yeah? So if we want to be performing not only in the gym or in any other forms of exercise that we're doing, but even just like day to day, we want to have a bit more energy, then our body needs to be having carbohydrates, yeah? Because otherwise it's being starved of its primary energy source, and then it's going to start using fats for energy or proteins for energy. But yes, we can still live off that, of course, but the body doesn't want to be doing that. It wants carbs because that's going to then allow it to perform at a much higher level. And if you're feeling better day to day, then you're going to be more productive. You're going to feel like you actually want to push through those tougher times during weight loss or your gym sessions or your cardio sessions, rather than feeling like crap because you're depleting your body and then you don't have the energy or you don't have the kind of motivation to be like, oh, I want to carry on, or pushing through those harder times, okay? So even forget your performance in the gym or in your cardio sessions, yeah? It's also just going to help you day to day. So we want to be having those carbohydrates. I'll quickly add in, before I go into how many grams of carbohydrates you should be looking to have day to day. But quickly before I go into that, is to help with not having these big energy dumps day to day, or to also help with your weight fluctuations, try and keep your carbohydrate intake consistent day to day. Because if one day you're having 400 grams of carbs, and then the next day you're having 150 grams of carbs, and then you're back up to 350, then you're back down to 100, then you're up to 2, like it's all over the place. So the scales are going to be bouncing because of that, the waste factor that I talked about, because of the water weight factor that I talked about. It's going to be bouncing all around. So if you can make sure that the amount of grams of carbs that you have per day is fairly consistent day to day, then you're going to limit those things, which is also going to help with your motivation, because you're not going to be getting pissed off and you're not going to be getting emotional because the scale's fucking bouncing up and down. So how many carbs should we be eating per day? So obviously I'm talking grams of carbs. I'd say 50% of your calories. Okay, so what I mean by, you're probably thinking, wow, how the fuck does that work out in grams then, Will? There's 4 calories for every gram of carbs, yeah? So if you're having 2,000 calories a day, then if 50% of your calories are gonna come from carbohydrates, that's 1,000 calories worth of carbohydrates. 1,000 divided by 4 is gonna be 250 grams, yeah? So if you're eating 2,000 calories, then you're gonna have around 250 grams of carbs per day. Don't ask me to work out any other numbers because I've got no chance, yeah? Just do it on a calculator. Whatever your maintenance calories or deficit calories, however many calories you're eating on a day-to-day basis, find 50% of that number, divide that number by 4, that's how many grams of carbs you should be eating roughly day to day. If you're extremely active, then maybe you want to have a little bit more. There's room for interpretation with that slightly, but I'd say 50% is a good starting number, give or take 5-10%, okay? So concluding, don't be scared of carbs, yeah? If you understand why people think that they make you gain weight, like I've spoke about with water fluctuations and things like that, then you can actually use them to your advantage, because you won't be worried about it, and actually you'll start feeling better day to day because you're not starving your body of its number one energy source. So don't be scared of carbs, use them, try and keep your carbohydrate intake equal day to day, aim for around 50% of your daily calories to be carbs. As I mentioned at the start of the video, if you're genuinely serious about losing some body fat, then get signed up to the 7-day free fat loss crash course. It's an email a day, snippet of actionable information and advice that you can implement into your life that day to help you lose weight and then sustain the weight loss as well. Look, people want to be leaner, they want to be healthier, they want to be happier, okay? And I know we live in a world now where it's not all about how you look and it's all about how you feel, but sometimes it's okay to want to look a bit better. It's okay to want to feel a bit better. It's okay to want to be healthier. You're not fat phobic for wanting to lose some weight, yeah? So if that is you and you resonate with that message that I've just said there, and also you'll get some more information about nutrition, calories, how to bank your calories so that you can still live your life while losing fat. All of that's in the course. Get yourself signed up, link in the description. Everything I'm gonna mention now, the links are in the description. Secondly, if you've liked what I spoke about today, follow me on Instagram. I post on there every day, post on my stories daily, multiple times a day, sorry. And also if you've got any questions, that's the best place to get in contact with me. So drop me a DM, interact with me on there. Yeah, I feel like I'm quite funny, so it might keep you entertained as well. I post on YouTube once a week, every Sunday at 6 p.m. If you don't want to just have to remember that and come back, then hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on. Whilst you're right here and you've clicked subscribe, drop a like, yeah, why not? And then drop a comment. Tell me what you think of me. Only keep it positive. If you want to call me a wanker, like, go for it. I'm a big boy, you know what I mean? I played non-league, yeah, so I've been called plenty worse in a football stadium. Or share the video with your friends as well. Lastly, if you think that I speak sense, because I do, yeah, so it's not whether you think. If you think I don't, then I'm sorry, you're wrong. But anyway, if you like the message that I'm spreading, then get in touch, because potentially a personalized, specific program for you might help you to finally get to those goals that you've been struggling to reach. And if we find that maybe it's not a good fit or it's not for you, then I'll try and push you in the right direction. Bye for now.